Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
If you want a battle, it's either that you will or you won't.
You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Oh, yeah. The winner of Last Comic Standing is John Heffron. That was a good day. Eat that mic. Get real close. That was a good day for everybody when you won Last Comic Standing.
It was a good day. I mean, to this now, I mean, it was back in 1973. If you know what I mean, if you go back and think. The only thing that bums me out about that day.
Yes, sir.
Not that I'm reliving something. You know, I peaked. I peaked in 2004. But the only bummer was I didn't get to say anything. They edited that part really weird. It went from John Heffron won to some balloons to, by the way, we're going to do season 3 in about 4 hours. That's how quick that it happened. So I never got to go, thank you.
Well, I don't think season
great. Like or nobody cares.
That fan didn't get to say anything either.
Okay, then
I'll tell you what happens. When
I will let it go.
I can see it hasn't eaten at you
I will
at
let
all.
it go. Really, 2004? You're still stressed about that day?
I just love that you're doing that you were doing stand up in 73, and I like that we're just still in the game at this point. Like in 73, the comedy was different. We were just talking about, we did a lot of jokes about the blacks.
Yeah, a lot.
Hippies, big target.
Which you could we could bring back our hippie material if you just go by all the new kids now. The what are they called?
What about hipsters?
The hipsters.
What
They're
about
the same exact kids.
Black hippies. Combine them. Blippies.
What's old is new.
Yeah.
Well, what's new is old. Yeah. No, you can completely bring all that back.
John Heffron and John Reap have a podcast called
Heffron and Reap.
Wow. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, see, because we decided, because there's a lot of podcasts.
He's louder than me. Finally, a guest that's more
Should
fired. No, do your thing.
I get my performing voice.
No, it's good.
This is good right here because I don't have headphones on. Perfect. And I will project. But yeah, so me and Reap, we decided to go Heffron and Reap because there's a lot of podcasts that have wacky names, but without their names in the podcast.
Yeah.
So if I was to search, then no one's going to take that much time. So that's why we decided to put our names.
With Jim Jeffries and Eddie Ift is like the bane of their existence because iTunes won't put the name on at all because it has shit in the title and it scared a lot of sponsors away. So it's talking *S hit. But they have to be on separate. One has to be under the other. It can't be left to right. And then now it's just Eddie Ift. So I just said to Eddie the other night, I go, why don't you just name it Taking Hits with Eddie Ift? Because he likes to fight and his fans like to smoke bong hits. Just taking hits.
Or now, just maybe because I'm getting lazy, I would call it the Eddie Ift Show.
That's what I would call it.
So if you're Googling, if you're looking, because people don't.
See, you put too much technological thought into it. I always was told to change my last name Mohr to Moore because everyone always misspelled Mohr.
Right.
And my whole thing was I only wanted it to be my name because if anybody that ever wronged me in high school, I don't want them to be like, wait, eating snacks? That's the guy I beat up? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this.
Well, that's like there's a lot.
I
of
want to be
podcasts
J Mohr. F-U. Pay me.
Go like eating snacks with two funny guys is literally. Like, I've seen podcasts like that. We go, I have no idea who's on this show.
4 glasses and a beard.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's one, for real.
Just like you say, put your name on it.
4 eyes and a beard. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I say, put your name on it.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about
the Heffron and Reap.
And you guys been doing it for a while. You stopped doing it for a while.
We've been doing it for a while now. Yeah.
Last time you were here, you had taken a little hiatus.
We take a hiatus, and then now we brought it back up again. I enjoy doing it. I realize on our podcast where I put more time into this free podcast than when I did morning radio in Detroit making money.
Right.
The amount my work effort is so much more. Now, my boss, who listens to your podcast, by the way, my old radio boss, every time he texts me, I go, do you listen to our podcast? He goes, yeah. He goes, man, if you ever run into Jay, that guy is flawless with live reads.
What's that guy's name?
Dave Kerr.
Dave Kerr?
Dave Kerr from Chicago.
It's New Year's Dave Kerr. You know, you got to create your own Dave Kerr calendar for 2013. Personalized calendars from Vistaprint include... Look, I'm not even going to read the text. Look, I'm putting the text away.
That's what he says he likes about you. He goes, you're flawless. You're streamless when you read the live reads.
Yeah, but I'm not even going to read this one because Vistaprint is so cool that I don't need a stupid piece of paper so I could tell you guys. Personal photos, texts, images, captions, notes for special dates. Like you can make a John Heffron and Reap calendar, give it to your fans when you sell merch, and then you could black out your dates. You know, if you run a business, you could be like, hey, this is when our Arbor Day picnic is, and this is when Sally's supposed to have her baby. You could black out all those dates. Any starting month you want. I would go January. Call me old-fashioned. It's unique. It's affordable. Great, great gift for customers if you're a salesman out there hoofing it. Ham and Eggers, get your calendars for your friends, your family. Wall calendars, desk calendars, poster calendars, wallet calendars, and the all-encompassing bizarre magnet calendar. That's always the best. You can also make business cards. Hundreds of calendar templates, easy to design and order. I had all of the staff at Fake Mustache Studios make business cards with mustaches on them just to see if Vistaprint was going to nail the cool handlebar mustache. They did it. They crush it. Go to www.vistaprint.com/more stories to get this incredible radio offer. You know, you're getting more than 50% off what anybody else can give you and free shipping on your entire order. If you spend more than $30, come on, satisfaction guaranteed. And if you're not happy, check this out. They're going to make it right and do right by you. So there's really no risk whatsoever. So just go to Vistaprint.com/more stories, MOHR stories, and that's for Mr. Kerr. You have one of my favorite bits of all time. This is what I like about John Heffron's comedy. It's stuff that's been on the table because we all lived it. It's stuff that we've lived as kids. Most the stuff that really hits me is stuff as kids that I thought I was the only one that did. Like you'll talk about corduroy pants and playing football on the couch.
Right.
And then I'll never forget. It was during Last Comic Standing. I'm supposed to be like impartial.
Right.
And just be like the suit. And you literally, it was, I mean, if you were just talking about after Christmas, taking the wrapping paper tubes and just yelling in your dog's ear. Oh, in the dog's ear. And I lost my shit. And I had to go up on stage and go, John Heffron, everybody. If you want to vote for John, that's Vistaprint.com/point. And I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
Tubes in the dog's ears. Brr. And he just made like the perfect tube sound.
Yeah.
And you really like went all that. Like, it was almost like you wanted the audience, like you needed it to be like Judas Priest loud. That one, just the tube sound. It's almost, were you trying to get me to feel like what it was like to be the dog? Like just scream.
It's always weird when I do that because people with that bit ask me where some shows I'll do that tube thing really long and there's no internal like,
it's great.
Should I do it for a half a second or two? You get it. It all depends. Sometimes I use it to think about what bit I'm doing next. But that's...
That's something we never really let the audience in on, and we probably should, and that is a lot of times, I mean, how many times we're on stage, and literally the entire time we're talking, you think we're completely engaged, but really we're just going, wait, how does this fucking go when I'm about to...
Yeah, or you're thinking, okay, if the show's over by 9:30, is Arby's still open? Like, if I get done with the second show, is Arby's, and then you have some bits that you just stall. You just the whole time.
Look, you come in here, you got your Muay Thai jacket on. I know, I've seen you fight Bobby the Bully. I've seen you throw some punches. I know you roll. I know you like to jujitsu. You don't strike me as a guy that's on. I look like a guy. Look, I got a radio body. I realized why I have this gut. When I signed up at AM 570 radio, Fox Sports Radio, to do my radio gig, I went, oh, that's why I can't get rid of this gut. I'm a fucking radio guy. Right. I have radio guy body. So I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to get big arms and a huge gut, and I'm going to start breathing real loud through my nose.
Yeah, make sure that when you're listening to people, you just hear, yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fighting, if we kind of were, that was a weird...
Well, I was just going to say, you're not really thinking about Arby's on stage. Are you constructing your bits? How much of your bits... You make a lot up on stage.
Every show.
Yeah, I know
every
that.
Show because I have three subjects that I've talked about since I was 18 years old. And then in those three subjects, I have hours of stuff. So just when I get on stage, I go 15, 15, 15. And wherever that 15 takes me, Some shows it's the same, but I don't know if I've ever done a joke worded the same exact way ever. I mean, I'm sure I have, but that's why, sometimes you're like, that joke killed. Other times, that didn't get that because I mumble and I word things so differently every time. And I change punchlines where if one show I'll go, then I said blank. Then the next show I'll go, then my grandma said blank, just to make it interesting for me.
But you're the only comic I know that does that. You're the only comic I know that, like, I know a lot of guys, like, I'll change the ingredients to the soup.
Yeah. I call it refurbishing.
Refurbishing. I'll refurbish the apartment, but it's still the same apartment. When I'm done with it, wow, this we're really pulling back the curtain. When I talk about it, like, I always say, I'm going to color outside the lines. And acting, too, it's like, I'm going to fuck these words up a little bit, but at the end of the scene, it's still going to be the exact same thing's going to happen. But, like, I'll change stuff around. Like, if I'm doing walking, I got to say your dog has no tail. Right. I got to do it because that's what he said to me.
Right.
But you're right. When you do, like, these other stories that, you marginalize and you embellish and, it's like, it is incredible. I never heard of a comic. I've heard a lot of comics saying they changed this shit on the way. But I've never heard of a comic saying, I actually changed the punchline.
Yeah, I do. And this is just me. And sometimes, I don't know if you do this. Sometimes you think about what you do for a living. Like you think about being a stand-up. And I get a panic attack because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how do you write a joke? I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like if I was to teach somebody how to write a joke, I wouldn't even know what to tell them. Do you? I mean, do you have a theory? Or if somebody goes, I need to write a joke or my family's going to be killed, do you know, well, here's what you do. You take I don't even know I don't know how to teach it.
I don't think there's a math or a science to it. I only know what you know, and I think we're similar.
I flip the emotion is probably the easiest thing I do.
Flip the emotion.
I take something that, let's say you really, really hate, like whatever just really pisses you off. And then
I hate cancer.
And then you go, you know why I love cancer? Is because so
and everyone's gonna
So you flip the emotion, but you
don't have that and then write around it. Do you just discover along the way that it would be funny if I've
never written a joke like sitting down or on a computer in my life. I have a bit that's 20 years old about traveling with my family. It's 20 years different. Like even 3 weeks ago, I did a whole chunk on it that I've never even thought of, even though that bit has been in my life for 20 years, which makes it awesome. Because I have four statements I try to get people to say to me all the time. And here's what they usually...
Listen up, Warriors. Here's your assignment. Where are you going to be late January? Or early February? February.
I am in Washington, D.C. at the Improv in February. I've never been before.
Oh, you're going to love it.
So if I'm going to plug a date, if you go to heffronareap.com, my dates are on there.
A lot of D.C. listeners. And that's a great club because the walk to the stage. We're going to get to those 4 things. The walk to the stage. The dressing room is just the back of the club. Right. There's a door, but there's no ceiling. So you're kind of just in a room with a weird wall. It's like Les Nessman's office on WKRP. Right. But then to walk to the stage, they have a curtain, and there's like the width of your laptop space, less than your shoulder width, a long ass. You're walking the length of the club on the side against the wall, and then you circle around. But you have to go sideways, and people are just elbowing the curtain because they're shit-faced. And you can hear everyone talking as you go to the stage. It's like Escape from Alcatraz. Nice. You'll love it. But it's great. No, the DC Improv's a lot of fun. And you'll meet some nice people there, and they'll smoke a lot of pot with you in the parking garage next door. And that's my word. What are the 4 things? If the Mohr Stories fans go up to John Heffron in DC.
Afterwards. Yeah. During the show, mentally, I want people to, in their head, just be thinking, me too. Is kind of my way I do it. And then afterwards, here's what I hear a lot, and this is where...
Wait, did you say me too or meat? Ooh.
Or both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, depending on where we are, how many Asians are around. At the end of the show, I want people to go, did you record my life? Did you grow up in my house? I married your wife. You sound just like my husband, are probably let's say the 3 things that I hear the most. And that's the wheelhouse that I try to hang out in.
That's what I got when I first saw you doing stand-up.
Because I only have 3 jokes that I've done for 20 years.
But that's what's amazing.
Nostalgia.
Go ahead.
I go nostalgia, getting older, and relationships. That's the 3 subjects. I don't dive into boy Bush is being weird. I never.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
And I now this is where comics say that I overthink things and makes me not fun to be around.